already know what's up.
We live.
It's live.
Yes, we are here. We are live. This is La Cocina podcast. I'm your girl, Danny Ray.
And I'm Cocina J.
You already know. And we have special guests in the building. Mr. Bobby Krills.
Yes.
Hey.
What up,
So
what up,
excited to have you here, Bobby. Bobby, yeah, he is a rapper. He is a hip hop artist, and he is a Twitch personality.
Yes.
Twitch
A little bit of
person.
everything.
Can you imagine a world in which we live in that there's such things as Twitch personalities
What
now?
is that?
Exactly. So, Bobby, this is the perfect time.
Well, Twitch is a social network. It's a platform for people that are into gaming.
Okay.
Gamers, basically.
Gamers,
So it's a whole network for gamers.
Really?
Okay.
Basically, you stream yourself playing video games and people follow.
okay.
Like, I don't know if you guys keep up with it, but right now that's the trend.
Yeah, no, I have nephews that.
If you know any kids or anything like that, you'll
They
see
into
most
it.
kids, they don't even play games anymore. They go on YouTube to watch other people play games. It's insane. Like, my son gives these guys millions of views. Like,
Wow.
and they don't even play the game. They don't want to play the game. They want to watch Ninja play the game or whoever it is, Dan TDM, or there's so many. It's crazy. It's just a whole new world, man. And I just wanted to dive in. I've been playing video games my whole life, so.
Yeah, video games are dope.
We're going to get into that. But first and foremost, I do want to give a shout out to all of the Boricuas out there, all of my Puerto Ricans that are out there. Wherever we are celebrating today. Yes. And I saw you went out to the festival, didn't you?
I was out there yesterday. Yeah, I was out there yesterday. I brought my kids out, my wife, and my cousins, and we were just chilling. I put the kids on the ride. I bought some pinchos. Just enjoying the day. It was a beautiful day yesterday.
Yes.
Too, so I'm glad to-
Yeah, I think like today it's like, ugh, not that kind of party.
They rained on the parade, literally.
Yes, they did. But you know what? We're going to be working it out here on La Cocina podcast. I'm your girl, Danny Ray. This is Katana J. We got Bobby Krills in the building. If y'all are tuning in, he is a hip-hop artist and a rapper coming out of Perth, Amboy, New Jersey. We are hailing from Perth, Amboy, New Jersey right now, coming to you live. We're going to be talking about Puerto Rico. We're going to be talking about all of the stuff that happened today on the NYC parade that happens over there. We're going to be talking about the PR festival here that happens in Perth Amboy and a few other things in between because Bobby is actually a Yeezy fan. Ain't that right, Bobby?
I'm a very big Yeezy fan.
So we're going to be talking a little bit about Yeezy and all of that. So, as a matter of fact, let's get into that now. Let's do the trending topics real quick before we get into all of the Puerto Ricanness of the show. Before we get ratchet, let's talk about the trending topics. So, Kanye West, as you guys know, came out with an album featuring Kid Cudi, and what happened?
Are we on? Because I don't see it. Is what I'm asking.
Oh, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Are we?
Like, I'm rocking my-
You're watching us? Alright.
I'm seeing it as a testing.
I see testing. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, are we just talking and not recording, or are we recording?
Featuring Kid Cudi. Okay, that's all right.
All right. So as long as you got us, we
So
good.
long as we're all good, everybody's good here. So let's talk about Kanye West and the album with Kid Cudi. I have not personally listened to it. I haven't listened to all of the tracks as of yet, but the little snippets that I did hear were worth listening to. How do you feel, Bobby?
I'm gonna be 100% real with you. I have not listened to the Cudi album.
Do you think it's too soon? Like, do you think that it was Yeezy's album and it, like Push, and then it was Yeezy, and then now we have Yeezy and Cudi? Do you think it was just too much too soon?
Nah, not at all. I think that was well thought out. The whole concept of dropping 7 songs per album for 5 people for an entire month was beautiful.
Really?
The way the world is set up now, people's attention spans are very, very limited and short. So for them to put out a project with only 7 songs is like perfect. I don't know if you guys heard the Black Thought album, but that was only 5 songs.
Right.
So like.
Do you think this is a new trend in music, like 7 songs per album?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna get to the point where albums don't even matter anymore. Because albums really don't matter anymore. It's all about streams and downloads.
People don't buy units anymore. They don't
It's
even
not
know
a,
what
it's,
units
it's
are.
not a physical copy anymore. It's not something that's a tangible that you can grab. You know what I mean? It's everything's
It's a click
over the internet. So
Okay, so here's the controversy, and here's what I've been wanting to know in your thoughts, because I know that you are a Kanye fan. How did you feel about him purchasing the album art for Pusha T and it being Whitney Houston's picture of, you know, drug paraphernalia on the bathroom sink? Me personally, I thought it was poor taste. What did you think?
I didn't dig too deep into that because of
Really?
I really didn't. that's because that's Pusha's persona. That's
right.
He's a hustler. If you listen to Pusha T, his whole career has been trapping, grinding, coke, dope, heroin, whatever the fuck he's doing. Excuse me, whatever he's doing at the time. So it's just his persona.
Right.
And if you didn't dig deep into it, all you saw was what looked like a hotel bathroom with drugs all over the place.
Yeah.
So
unless you really knew
unless
that
you
it
knew
was
the
written.
backstory to it.
So knowing the backstory, do you feel as though maybe it was going a little too much since, you know, Whitney Houston is such an iconic person?
I wouldn't have did that. No, but everybody knows controversy sells. It sells.
true.
So
I get that. Here's my thing. You know, everybody was so hard on Pusha for the 40 line, and I get that, but we totally dismissed the fact that Kanye West bought a photo from the National Enquirer for $85,000. Okay, that was of Whitney Houston's, you know, drug paraphernalia photo. We're talking about, number one, a woman in your own black community, and number two, you're talking about an icon. You know, that to me showed me a lot of where he was mentally, and I think that Wendy Williams hit it right on the head where she said, I just don't think that he is well. And I don't think so either.
But who's really well? I mean,
nowadays, nobody.
I understand that, but it's just,
Everybody's
for me, I guess it was just a matter of respect. And I just felt like, being that it is a black woman's photo that you took, an icon at that, you being born of a black mother, like, how could you put this poor woman's history out there, like, number one, we didn't already know, and then publicize it to that? I mean, that was a soul.
I didn't know that they used that backstory as a marketing tool for that album.
They didn't use it as a marketing tool, but it came out that it was, and I just think that it was poor taste. I think that somehow either that should have never even been brought up.
I can agree. I mean, I can sit there and tell you, that wasn't a good idea.
He was well aware. He was well aware.
But, you know, those are things that are out of our hands.
Yeah, of course. So now let's get back to you, because you, as a rapper, as a hip-hop artist, you're now a little bit older, a little bit more seasons in the game. What do you project doing differently this time around after your 2 years hiatus, we'll say?
I just want to have fun, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
And talk about the hiatus that you took. Like, what was the reason behind that?
Yeah,
well, when I was grinding a couple years ago, I had a record deal, a little local, you know, independent record label. They gave me a deal. They were pushing the hell out of me, doing all types of things. I was just worrying about blowing up so much that it started to take away from my personal life.
Right.
You know, I'm spending time. I was going 3 hours a day to the gym. I mean, I lost a tremendous amount of weight at that time. 3 hours a day at the gym, 10 hours at work, and then going to the club 5 nights a week. Like, it was just so much on my life. And
right.
Now that I look back at it, it was actually a bad time. Like, for what? What did I do? I popped bottles, you know, to chill with people that really don't care about anything I got going on anyway, because when I hit rock bottom, they wasn't there.
Right.
So
who is there for you now, Bobby?
My family, my kids, my wife. Shout out to my wife if she's watching me.
Yes, absolutely. Shout out to Wifey. I actually knew Wifey before you. You know that, right? Wifey and I had homeroom together back in junior high school. So shout out to you, Leanne. Thank you so much for letting us borrow your husband. I know you're watching the kids.
Sunday,
shout out to the boys. Shout out to your little boys.
Shout out to my son Cooper, a little Bobby Jr. and Jackson.
Yes.
That's crazy, but those are my babies right there. My wife Leanne.
Of course. So and Nemesis.
Shout out to my brother-in-law Nemesis.
Come on,
absolutely.
your sister.
I thought we were gonna get there. My sister.
Oh, we getting there right now.
Yeah,
So let's talk about because you've been working with Nemesis for quite some time. So talk to me a little bit about that.
All right. Cool. I wasn't gonna go there, but we're gonna go there.
Yeah, we here now.
We go there.
We in the Cocina now.
We in the Cocina.
Me and them are we're cooking something right now.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man. It's just the music is just emotional.
Right.
It's driven off emotion. It's a roller coaster ride from the start to the end. Right. You're gonna go up, you're gonna go down, you're gonna go up again, you're gonna go down, and it's real lyricism. And honestly, I'm at the point now where I think we had the conversation before the podcast with like language and profanity and stuff like that. Not saying that I'm clean 100% or anything like that, but I'm trying to limit that because I feel like that's taken away from what I'm actually saying.
Right.
So I'm trying not to use curses in the lyrics. I'm not saying certain things. Just trying to be a little bit more mature about my approach. Because I understand like now I have people I have to answer to, like my kids. You know what I mean? So one day they're gonna ask me, Daddy, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Or I want to be able to answer that. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much my approach now. So everything I'm doing, I'm very conscious of it, and everything I'm saying, you gotta be in today's world. America's sensitive.
Of course.
One
Very
wrong thing
sensitive.
will blow up to
Yeah, and you're
something
done.
crazy.
So my thing with you is, Bobby, for those people who don't know you, who are not familiar with your music, talk about how you got your start in music and where you are.
Well, actually, when I first started rapping, it came off of like a little beef with my boy Trev. Shout out to Trev. I haven't seen him in years, but he was a rapper. I was in high school with him, and he was a rapper, and we were playing ball one day. And he was like, yo, I can do whatever you do better. I can ball better than you. And at that time, ball was life, so I was like, basketball. I'm going to the NBA. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Competitive.
But he was telling me, he was talking crazy. He was like, yo, I can do anything better. Yeah, I'll do whatever better than you. You know what I mean? I can rap too, but so I wrote a diss track to him on the Nori grimy beat.
Oh my God.
So my start of actually rapping was on a diss track to my boy. And
That's
then
funny.
in front of like a few of us, you know, I spit it to him and stuff like that, and we went back and forth a little bit, but it was always love after that. But then after that, I realized it was simple to get a J-Arm CD or something like that and just pop it in and start writing, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I just started writing, and then I met this kid in high school named Sticky. Well, I knew
Sticky.
I grew up with Sticky, yeah.
Sticky.
I grew up with Sticky. Sticky I started rapping with for real. I went to his house one day, and we knocked out like 4 tracks on the karaoke machine, man. It was crazy.
On a karaoke
Yeah, it was
machine?
crazy.
Oh my
That's
God.
But that was the first time I actually heard myself. So I got the cassette, and I'm like, yo, this
I
is
remember
crazy.
karaoke days. I did that too.
The quality was horrible. But in my head, I'm like, this is
All that reverb.
Everett, all that-
You were in
Lord.
it.
Yo, I was,
Wait,
you know,
so
it
when
was
you guys did the karaoke, did you do it where you had the beat on one, then the empty track on another, then you record at the same time while you're...
You know what?
That's how we
that's
did it,
too
and we
technical
just-
for me right
No,
now.
well, because
Oh my
I went to
goodness.
school. I went to school for audio engineering,
Okay, yeah.
but doing it back in the day,
Yeah.
I had a 2-tape karaoke machine, a cassette karaoke machine. We would take the beat on one and then take the empty on the other, press record on the empty one so the beat will play
Yeah.
while we're spitting into the mic that we had over the door.
And you had to do one take, right?
And just and then we would take that, and then we all right, we're gonna do doubles now, and do in and out.
That's
Yo,
crazy.
we were in Shout out to my cousin Julio J Money. We used to do that
But
before
real
when
quick,
Smack started.
shout outs to everybody that's watching on the
Hey.
live right now. Who's
Yes,
here?
yes.
Let's
Who's
check
here?
in. Let's
Roll
check in
call.
who's watching. Your sister's here, so shout out to
Hey,
Fallon.
shout out, Fallon.
She's been here the whole time since the testing of the audio, so
Yo,
thank you,
she
Fallon,
been
who helped
riding
out.
with us
Yes.
today.
Who else we got up in here? Oh, we have my dad. Shout out to
Oh,
Dad.
what up, Dad?
Dad's over in Tampa right
Shout out
now.
my boy Miss in the building. That's
I'm missing the building.
Oh, okay. Listen, guys, this is going to be a
We're
very
here.
interactive show, so we encourage you. Now that we have everything set up and ready to go,
Talk
we're
to
looking
us.
at
We're
you.
here.
We're looking at you, and we're looking at what you're leaving. So thank you so much for tuning in and joining us, Bobby Krills. So, all right, so that's how you got your start in music and rapping. So now talk to us about the project of Free Will. Because it's different in the sense that that's the only one that's available on Audio Mac,
Yeah.
and everything else was sort of on SoundCloud, was it not?
SoundCloud, YouTube. I had some stuff on that Piff a couple years ago. But
Right.
a lot of it wasn't really out there. I wasn't really putting it out there the right way. So.
And I gotta tell you, as for me, and I'm sure I've mentioned this to you in passing before, but you know, the Free Will EP for me was just a real work of art, honestly. And I enjoyed Followers. I enjoyed Progression. Those were tracks that, like, when I was getting up in the morning, going to my 9 to 5, I would put on and just be like, yo,
It's
you know
okay.
what? Yeah, this right here is gonna get me through the
This is
day.
gonna get us,
Followers,
you know.
followers to this. I'm not gonna say the stuff I'm writing now, but followers.
You will.
Followers. To this moment or whatnot. Followers was my favorite song ever. Like it was just so real. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it was so much in there that I was talking about that was about my life.
yeah.
Like I put it all out there,
Mm-hmm.
and it sounds good. And them made that beat, so it's like every time I get on something with Nemesis, I don't know what he does, but he just brings out a side of me that I'm
Yeah.
not really used to bringing out. You know, before that it was always like showtime. Like what's showtime? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna get the club popping with? What are we gonna?
Yeah.
With them, it's like, nah, bro, just go. You know what I mean?
Like
Yeah.
bring it
Just
from
go.
here.
Give me
yeah.
something. You know what I mean?
So one thing that we had mentioned way back when I first interviewed you, because this is not our first rodeo.
Nope.
As a matter of fact, you were one of the first artists that I interviewed when I was doing Behind the Vibe.
Yeah.
And Behind the Vibe was like this, you know, this kind of MTV behind the scenes with a little bit of like it was just something else.
It was
and
interesting. Yeah,
it totally was. And unfortunately, vibe became one of these words that everybody just hopped on. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna have to revamp this, and then hence why La Cocina podcast. And I'm so happy that you're here with us, because it's just like, it's all full circle for me. It's like having you as one of the first guests that I interviewed back then, and having you now here is just a blessing. So I really do appreciate you coming out. But let's talk about, and I know you don't want to talk too much about your new stuff.
Because it sounds like you got something juicy in there, right?
Right?
Didn't he sound like it?
Well, the good thing is, like, I've always kept good relationships with people.
Yeah.
For the most part. I mean, I got a few people that we burn bridges and, you know, things happen.
Life happens.
Yeah, of course.
For the most part, I've kept really good relationships with a lot of people that I worked with in the past, and even people that I never got a chance to work with, even though they probably felt like I was brushing them off or something. Like, it really wasn't that, but I kept good relationships. So now I got so many people that are starting to hear, like, oh, you coming back? You coming back? All right, yeah, work.
I mean, wasn't I like hitting you up like I felt I was almost borderline stalkerish, because I'm like, yo, are you coming out with new music? Because you have to understand, like, Free Will for me was like, yo, everything was a banger. Like, I'm in there, I was just grooving, driving, and it's like, this cat is so needed. And Jersey especially, I mean, shout outs to Jersey and all of the artists that are out here. Y'all are doing your thing. I wish you guys would support each other a little bit more.
They all need to show each other more love. If we were to get as connected like how the artists and the music scene is like in Cleveland, like how
anywhere else,
or anywhere besides the tri-state area, they're all like that. Anywhere else, they're really like connected. They support each other, and they're always shouting where they're from. Out here, I feel like when it comes to artistry, they don't really want to do that.
Why do you think that is, Bobby? Like, what do you think it is about Jersey that some of the artists just can't seem to get it together?
We have a very fast-paced lifestyle. Everybody's just out for themselves. It could be ego, could be a bunch of things, but it all depends on the person too, man. How are they built? You know, like I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, I used to see everybody as competition. It's rap. It's a sport. Yeah. You know what I mean? But at this point, man, there's enough people in the world for everybody to get love. You know what I mean? Like,
everybody could catch a leg.
Millions and millions and millions of people. You can't just be focused on here. You know what I mean? Like, I get so much, like, response and engagement from people outside of Jersey, bro. Like, I got friends in Utah. I got guys in Australia. I got, like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's crazy.
The internet connects you with so many people that honestly you don't even have to do the footwork anymore. You know what I mean?
Word. That's awesome. But my question for you is this: which Jersey artist right now would you be willing to collaborate with?
As far as like album cut or something?
No, just in terms of like even cutting a record. Like, who would you want to have featured on a record with you right now from Jersey?
Right now, I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna sound kind of asshole-ish, but I don't like to put my energy around a lot of people. So I've always been to myself when it comes to music. You don't see me collab with a lot of people.
It's personal for you.
It's just how I do. You know what I mean? Like, I try.
Okay.
Sometimes I do.
So you know what? Let's flip it and say this: who out of Jersey right now can you say he got that? He got it.
There's a ton of cats out there.
All right, so drop some names.
I love Ransom, but he's not really like out there no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got a lot of comparisons to Action Bronson.
Yeah, he's from New York.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I hate that comparison.
I had to mention it for old time's sake. You know we gotta mess with you a little bit, Bobby. What about Chad B?
He's a club head, you know what I mean? He's like a Jersey club scene. He's doing his thing, you know what I mean? But it's just not my lane, so I'm gonna stay in my lane, you know what I mean? But
so let's talk about your lane then. What is your lane now as of where you are today?
I would have to say I'm more in like trying to get into like a J. Cole vibe.
Okay.
If I had to pick one rapper out there that kind of inspires me, it would probably be Cole.
So you feel more like conscious music? Like?
Not so much conscious, just real. Just it's emotional. There's substance to what he's saying. You know what I mean?
You feel it from like in here.
What was the song on this album? Always an Addict. What was the name of it?
KOD.
KOD, but there was something Forever an Addict. I think that's the name of the song.
That was one of the interludes on there, I believe.
No, there was a song.
Oh, Forever.
It's like called Recovering
Something Addict, but if you listen to that song, he's talking about his mom and his relationship with his mother, and how like he had a void in his life. Like, that's deep.
Yeah.
People can't get past the simplicity of his lyrics, and understand where he's really coming from. But it's a deep thing there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I want to make that kind of music. I don't care about what's popping right now. I'm 33 years old with kids. It's like, that's not my intention. My intention is to say something that's gonna help somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
To give you a little bit, the project that I'm working on is called The Experience. It was gonna be called Ascension initially, but we're gonna change it to The Experience, and it's just me just going through what I think. You know what I mean? Like my life. What's my philosophy of living? What can I tell you to make you get up and go harder, or just handle hate, or handle anything? You know what I mean? Like. Things that I see, you know what I mean? So. And
what's your creative process? Because sometimes, like, I be hitting you up and you're up, like you wide awake in the middle of the evening. I'm like, what is this guy do? He's like, yo, I'm writing. Like, so talk to us about your writing process. And what is it that you're doing now that's different than what you've done in years past?
I've always been somebody that needed to be alone. I've always needed to be alone. I can't write in a room full of people.
Right.
The energy's off. If you're not where I'm at, I gotta go. No, I can't be here. It doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? So I finally I just moved into a house. I got a basement area, which I created for myself. Like I got my gaming station, I got my webcams, I got everything. I got my green screens.
The man cave.
And then the other day I went to Sam Ash and I bought all my studio equipment. And I'm like, oh, it's a wrap. Like, I got to create a space.
Shout out to Izzy who works at the Sam Ash over at Edison. I know you probably helped him out. He helped us out. Shout out to him.
I got to create a space now. So like now I could unplug for my kids and my wife, and I could go downstairs by myself
and just do your thing
and blast my music and just sit there and play the same beat over and over for 3 hours. If anybody else is in the room, they're gonna get. I don't want to hear this shit no more. You know what I mean? But with me, it's like I'm gonna keep reciting and repeating and repeating. So I go down there and I just lock in.
So let me ask you something, because there's always been this thing about he raps but he looks white but he's not white and he's Latino and I know you've dealt with a lot of that. Are you addressing some of that in your new music? Will you be maybe incorporating some Espanol in there?
I might throw some bars in there. I haven't got there yet, but I probably will. I do talk about it a little bit, but I try not to bring too much light onto it because it's just a subject that, in my opinion, that's never going to change. I mean, maybe I'm pessimistic about it, but I am who I am. I'm accepting of it already. At this point, I already know what I look like. You know what I mean? So it's just, I moved on from it. But it does bother. Yeah, it does. I might address it.
Yeah. I think you should.
I might address it.
I think you should. Especially nowadays where colorism and everything like that is so like, that's on people's menu of discussion, you know what I mean? Of talking about that. And I feel like nowadays it's like we're glorifying, the Afro-Latinos and stuff like that. And it's a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? It's a great movement because we're able to do these kind of things. But then at the same time, I thought it was a cool thing to talk to you about because I don't know, maybe you can feel me on this.
Before we get into that question, can we just roll that pre-recorded of Bobby spitting a few bars in Spanish real quick, just to remind him what he's
was never a snot nose. I walked around in hot clothes, Papo, the whole block knows that Bobby got flows. I came a long way from copy kicks and ponchos, muchacho. I know este tipo parece blanco. Look.
You guys see it?
Did it pop off for you? Because there's that delay.
There's a delay, so tell us when it's done.
Now it's done on our side.
It's done on our side.
See, this 5-second delay be messing us up, but
there's a delay.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right.
No. So what I was trying to ask was in regards to being a light-skinned Hispanic. You know what I mean? I feel as though we kind of almost get that same hardship the way that the Afro-Latino, the ones that look more dark skinned, like I have cousins that look like super ebony beautiful, you know what I mean, and we're from the same blood, you know what I'm saying, and Latinos are just a melting pot mixture. But do you feel like it's kind of like almost as hard, like equivalently as hard, like how they get it?
Growing up, it was very tough to find myself as a person because I never really fit in. I went to a Spanish majority Spanish school. I was too white to hang out with the Spanish kids, but then I was hanging out with black kids, and I'm not black, you know what I mean? So I just was all over the place, man. I was all over. I really, mentally in high school, I was a mess.
For self-identity, right?
Yeah, I had no idea if I was going to try to be a gangbanger. Or, there was so many stages of my life at that point until I found out who I was that was just crazy, you know what I mean?
The reason that I had brought up the whole colorism topic, and the reason I had gotten into that was because, you know, it is something that, like Katana mentioned, is becoming, you know, a more prominent point of discussion. You know, and with me personally, I grew up in Staten Island, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in a mainly, you know, majority of it was white. You know, my best friend is Italian and Irish, you know, a lot of my people's over there. So being over there and being one of the first, you know, not one of the first, but one of the first Puerto Ricans that were out there in the 90s, you know, it was hard. Like, I had the darker features, the darker skin. And not to say that, you know, I wasn't, you know, tortured over it. I wasn't, but I was bullied often. You know, and then when I moved here to Perth, Amboy, it was another culture shock because I wasn't as Latina as I looked on the inside. You know what I'm saying? I didn't speak Spanish. I didn't have that more, I guess, I mean, I always had a chip on my shoulder being from New York. We always had that little swagger, but it was different, you know, and it took a lot, and it took, you know, almost the community within itself, the you know, the Dominicanos that I hung out with, you know, the Peruvians that I hung out with, you know, the people that were around me, in order to kind of get in touch with that and embrace that sense of my culture. Unfortunately, you know, it was just one of those things. Like, we didn't grow up speaking Spanish, you know, as a first language in our homes, and it was really of no fault of our own, but, you know, of our ancestors who came and just were like, you know, we gotta assimilate as quick as possible, you know. So that's the reason why it opens up that conversation, because I know that you could identify with some portions of that.
And to be honest with you, I didn't I always understood Spanish because my mom speaks it, my dad speaks it, but I grew up predominantly English. It was English first in my house,
Right.
And for a long time, I just never really had the interest to start speaking it. But then I had got a job one time in Elizabeth, and my job was talking with people. So I wasn't making no money if I wasn't talking Spanish. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So my pockets were hurting. So I just started, you know, I mean, I'm not the greatest Spanish speaker, but when it came to that particular job, I was able to do it. And it just helped me. So I've been to Spanish countries a few times, you know what I mean? I've been to Dominican Republic, I've been to Puerto Rico.
You got married in the Dominican Republic. What you talking about?
He got married in the yard.
That was...
I don't have a passport yet. I have the
You got
application.
your passport.
I have the application though, I swear.
We're working on it.
I'm gonna fill it out, I swear guys, I'm gonna fill it out.
I got stamps.
I
got stamps.
That's what I'm trying to get, so I'm trying to travel, honey.
Yeah, I got stamps.
So let's get into the festival and what happened yesterday, because I do want to acknowledge Puerto Rico. I do want to acknowledge what today is and how important it is to us three that are in the room right now.
Boricua.
So you know who I was really impressed by yesterday? Shout outs to him. Shout outs to Favo, man.
Word.
Favo came and hit the stage yesterday. And, you know, everybody was kind of like, you know, just out in the outskirts. You know how it is. Like, it's really hard to get an audience to interact, to come up, to be a part of the moment. And I think that if any artist captured that yesterday, it was definitely Favo. So shout outs to him, man. That was dope.
And for me, I thought it was even more dope because it was my first time, like, introducing myself to Favo's music. You know what I mean? I've heard of him, but I had never, like, seen it in person. Where is he from?
He's from Puerto Rico.
He's from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, he's straight off the island.
No wonder.
As a matter of fact, we have some pre-recorded clips from yesterday's experience over at the PR Festival. So let's roll that clip.
So exotic, nena, tú me envuelves. 5 en la mañana aquí me tienes. En la cara se te nota que a mí tú me prefieres. Ay, nena, no lo niegues. Damn girl, I don't know how to act, no. Tu cuerpo a mí me...
Hey, it's your girl Danny Ray. We out here at Bootic Park. You already know it's the Puerto Rican Festival.
Necesito bebé, quisiera probar tu piel. Recogerte en la noche te va al amanecer. Recogerte en mi coche en el camino, seducirte. Y con tu truco seducirme hasta yo lucirme. Te necesito bebé, quisiera probar tu piel. Recogerte en la noche te va al amanecer. Recogerte en mi coche en el camino, seducirte. Y con tu truco seducirme hasta yo lucirme. Déjame darte lo que tú pides. Sigue maquinando.
Get it, we were jamming.
Yes. That was awesome. There's so much awkwardness in between the video clip and then us. I'm sorry, we're working on that. Okay, like it's a delay,
if
and
we're
we're
able
working
to
on
hear it or see it, we wouldn't be like so. But we're antsy. We can't stay quiet that long. It was only a minute long, and we couldn't do it.
Awkward as hell.
I'm saying though, but wasn't it dope yesterday? The vibes were so wavy.
The vibe was dope.
Yeah, we had a good time, man. And shout outs to everybody that attended Rudick Park yesterday, because that was amazing.
Yeah, it was a vibe. And shout out to Doble too, because he was doing his thing. He had that little thing. He had everybody going.
Yeah, Doble was out there with his drone.
Yeah, my son saw the drone. He said, "Daddy, drone." Yeah, you know what's crazy? I got a drone at home too, and I got to bring that out, man.
Hello, you could be doing your own music videos, son.
Man.
Man,
like
I
a
don't
remote
have time
control.
to do video editing like that, man. That takes so much time, man.
Yeah,
I feel you.
Video editing is a whole nother monster.
Well, that's when you get the camera king.
We talk.
Did y'all catch any bit of the parade that went on today in New York? Did you catch any? I know you was at work.
Yeah, I was at work.
I know you were at work. How about you?
I saw a little bit. And
you saw a little bit, and then you fell asleep on my couch.
The parade saw a lot of me. The parade saw a lot of me.
All right, so listen.
But I did watch some.
For what y'all missed, okay? Who did we have? We had Christopher Rivera. He was I don't know exactly who he is. I'm gonna be honest with you, but he did a beautiful rendition of the Puerto Rican national anthem.
Really?
And then they had Johnny Bliss come in from The Voice season, this past season, which I believe was 14, and he was one of the finalists, and he did the American national anthem, which he did really well. But then we got to the part where he was supposed to do Preciosa.
Dun, dun, dun.
What happened?
And yo no sé qué fue lo que pasó ahí, pero estaba un revolú. Yeah, you know, it was something there that just didn't. You know what it was, Dito, and I feel really bad. I think that he was talking and trying to get the audience hype over it. And you know how Mark Anthony usually does to try to get the audience hype over Preciosa? Well, I think he was interacting with the audience too much, and he totally missed his intro. And you know that Preciosa is a very hard song. If you miss that first ding,
that first note of it, you're gone.
You're gone.
Then he
he literally
during the headlights
look. Yeah, he did.
Oh man, that sucks.
And it was rough because then they had to like pan away from him and pan off of him, so that when he finally did get it together, it was already too late. You know how live television
they lost like 2 minutes of
gone.
Oh man, that
can't
sucks.
Get back.
And that's a song you really can't mess up. As soon as you hear you should be ready.
Yeah.
Like, especially that you said that was how he got started, right? He used that song.
Yeah, he did use that song as his intro. Like, so, I mean, as not as his intro, but as his audition.
His audition. So there's no way you should be messing this song up, honey.
Yeah.
Like, it happens, but let this be the only time that it happens to you.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, in those moments, live television, you only get one shot. I mean, I hate to, pull the whole Eminem card, but you only get one shot.
And he's still on the rise. He's not even like...
Yeah, and that's my thing. If you can't get it together during a live performance, lo siento mucho, as good as you are, you might have to reconsider that it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
You might get shot.
Things, man.
Yeah, especially with the internet, like we were talking about earlier. The internet is forever.
Oh, they're ruthless.
They are ruthless, but at the same time, they can also be fun, like our people. Yeah. Our community is cool as hell.
And shout outs to our community, La Cocina podcast community. Our group on Facebook has. If nobody's joined it, we need you to do that. So
join our group
right now, like La Cocina podcast. Make sure to join our community. We shout you out as soon as you join.
We talk to you, we interact with you. This is real. This is family. This is like, you're growing with us, we're growing with you. Let's do this.
And we're here with Bobby Krills, rapper and hip hop artist from Perth, Amboy, New Jersey.
And he's rocking Cobain.
You know what? I forgot to ask you. Can we talk about the fact that you had dropped a song on your birthday? You were like promoting it all the way up until your birthday, and then you dropped that record, and it wasn't, you wanted to not talk about it, but we're going to talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about it. Let's go there.
Yeah, so talk to us about that track.
517. I mean, have you guys ever heard the 444 album, Jay-Z? 444, whatever he calls it.
I kicked it.
I'm going to try to bring it up because you emailed it to me, but you keep talking.
Yeah. So that track, I mean, the track that, the album title track, 444, he gets real on that song. He's talking about his relationship with Beyonce and stuff like that. That beat is just incredible. Like, if you're listening to that beat loud in your car,
it
does something to you. You know what I mean?
So
I was like, I gotta get on this beat. This beat is gorgeous. You know what I mean?
So what was the inspiration behind the record while I try to pull it up again?
What called you to it?
I just had so much on my mind. Like, I haven't wrote before that. I didn't write for like a year and a half at least.
I know that feeling. And it hurts, right? Whenever, like, between that year and a half that you weren't writing, were there times where you're like, you get that itch, that want to pick up a pen or a paper, and you're like...
To be honest, I
play
thought
right
I was
now.
done.
You did?
I did.
I feel you on that. We talk later. Let's hear this.
Yeah, it's real in there. Very real in there. Very real in there.
So this is 517 by Bobby Cruz that we're listening to right now.
My question is, what's the muse? Let's talk ego. What the fuck did he know?
This is
Vision blurred like the wrong side of a peephole. You lose sight when you focus on other people. Wasted so much time treating my peers like they were equal. It's disrespectful and I love them, but I'm stingy with my time to give them that. I gotta trust them, and I've given time before and it quickly led me to nowhere. Like Krills think he better, I'm not really trying to go there. Look, I'm just looking out for me, endorsing self-love to make my life how it's supposed to be. I'm speaking openly, I came close to losing hope for me. My wife and kids were the only ones who wrote for me. Let's talk rock bottom shit, fuck rap. If I ain't got a pot to piss, I ain't doing shit for the approval of a lot of kids, or make music for people who don't know what
I ain't doing a lot of shit for the approval of kids. Let's talk about this.
I was chasing for so long, man.
Yeah.
Chasing clout, man. Just looking for what are they gonna react to? You know what I mean? Like, and at this point, man, like the majority of the people that are in these hip hop shows and the demographic of people that are listening to hip hop is either my age bracket or they're kids.
Yeah.
There's no in between. There's either you like trap music or you're considered an old head that likes boom bap.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
was gonna
it.
ask him about that too, about boom bap.
There's not really a bridge. Cole is probably the closest to the bridge. Kendrick is close to that bridge. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's certain people that can jump on both sides and still be like successful.
Right.
Do you feel that there will be a rise again in boom bap?
Absolutely.
It needs to.
I wouldn't say boom bap. I think it's more of an evolved type of that. You know what I mean?
A little bit, yeah.
It is getting real. It's getting real. There's people out there spitting for real.
Yeah.
There is.
We need it because I feel. Do you feel as though like the entertainment industry as a whole, like, it's kind of like started to lose its like timeless music a little bit, where it's like more they're just putting out music that's kind of the fad for the moment, but it's gonna be lost in a couple of years, as opposed to music that you can bump for decades
That's a
to
great
come.
question. Look at 6ix9ine, for example. I'm not gonna lie. I am not a fan of his music whatsoever. But the way he's doing what he's doing, I like, because I appreciate marketing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So his music is not timeless music. We will forget about his music. It's not gonna last.
Yeah.
But he's 7 for 7 billboards. But that's what's important. That's what he keeps pointing
The
out.
numbers.
That's what he keeps pointing out. If you watch him, that's all he says.
Right.
He's not saying, yo, my album's dope. You know what I mean?
He
Like,
just says I'm 7
you're gonna be
for
bumping
7.
this song in 30 years? No, he's like, I'm getting my cash right now because this is my time.
And that's kind of
This
like
is
the
my
Cardi B
window.
approach, wouldn't you think?
I think she's gonna last a little longer.
Yeah, do you?
Honestly, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Her personality's dope as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
No, it
she's
is.
so dope. Like, women needed that.
Yeah.
Bad. Like, the women needed Cardi B bad.
But she says it herself, like she's not in it to be the best in hip hop. She's not in it. And how do you feel about these rappers who are getting this clout, getting this fame, having this platform, and not even really wanting it? Do you not like feel insulted at times as an indie artist?
I used to.
Okay.
But now I understand that, like I said earlier, there's millions of people out there.
Right. Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna feel you, but there's a lot of people that will. You just gotta find them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's room for everybody to eat. There's room for the boom bap artist to still do what he does. These guys are touring overseas all the time. You got dudes like Ill Bill and Pumpkin. Well, rest in peace, Pumpkinhead. But like that group of people, like the underground circuit, they're still making money. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that the mainstream doesn't hear about it. But if you ask a child about them, a 19-year-old, a 20-year-ld, I don't know who the hell that is. You know what I mean?
How do you want your music to be perceived at this point, Bobby?
Just take it, man. Just take it and appreciate it. Like, when I make my music, like, my main goal is just to be on a stage. Like, my vision, I guess you could say. Like, everybody has a vision, right?
Yeah.
My vision of success is for me to be on a stage and have a moment where I'm just looking out and there's thousands of people and they're just all eyes on me.
Yeah.
And everything that comes out my mouth, they're just like, yo, I love this guy. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wants that. You know what I mean? That's what I want.
Yeah.
I've had a few shows there, here and there, smaller crowds, nothing like, I was not a stadium or nothing, but I've had points where it was like, yo, Bobby's that dude, and he rocking, and people chanting your name, and that's the high that I chase
When
from
you
music.
when you can get the audience to rap the music to you. Okay, I'm not even gonna rap my music. You do it.
Do you know
and the whole,
how
that's
good
powerful.
that feels? Like, I watch videos all the time. Like, I watched the Big Sean video once. He was on stage, and he just broke down crying.
Yeah.
Like, he just sat there. He stopped rapping, and the beat was playing in the background, and he just broke down in tears. And he was just crying on the stage, bawling. You hear the cracking in his voice and everything. And he was just telling them, like, I can't believe I'm here. Like, and he was just in a moment. There's a moment like that that I, like, that's the moment I want.
Right.
That's what you're searching for.
Yeah, have you watched Rapture? It's on Netflix.
I saw the title. I didn't watch it yet.
Fam, okay,
Watch
your
it from
homework when you
I
go
watch a lot of
home
Boss
is
Baby.
watch Logic's episode of
Logic.
Rapture.
Okay.
And that moment in which you describe, he ends up explaining while he's on a tour bus and he's doing a tour and he's doing like this behind the scenes stuff now, and he's just like, wow, like,
because it's
I
like
have
you
like
fight.
7 Grammy nominations right now, and I didn't even think about it. Like, it's just hitting me now, and it was so crazy because you capture that moment in which he's finally coming to the realization of what he's doing and who he is. And it's like, it's powerful. Like, I started crying. I had shows, and I'm not that.
I love that.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been
love-
super emotional lately.
I love watching that stuff. Like the J. Cole documentary for Forest Hill Drive. It was on HBO. That was incredible. The way he connects with his fans is just you don't see that part, but that's what everybody wants. That's what I want. That's what I think music could give to me. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm chasing. That's what I want. I just want people to take what I'm saying and really, incorporate it, man, and take it to your life. Don't play my music if you're not gonna listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I put my time into this. My thoughts, my feelings are on this. You know what I mean? Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I really do want to encourage all of you guys to go follow him, man, at Bobby Krills.
He's legit, I'm telling you.
Yeah, man, he's super dope. His music is amazing. Humble dude, man. So go check him out.
As you can tell.
Yeah, man. He's got a few projects. He has Free Will still on Audio Mac, is it not?
Yes, it's still on.
People can go and
It's
stream that.
It's free download.
We streaming it right now, so bits and pieces that you're hearing underneath the interview are all from Bobby Krills, mainly of it. Most of it we'll tag later, but let's not talk about that. But as for Bobby, what is it that you want to do with Twitch now? Because you've been getting serious, dude.
Well, Twitch, I bought a lot of equipment. I'm still growing that network. That network's a lot more difficult than Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Like, you don't just get a lot of followers.
But let's go back a second, because you actually traveled down the road in which we're traveling on, but a little bit different. You had a podcast going on.
I did have a podcast. They're still doing it.
Yeah.
They're still doing it.
Shout out to them. Straight from the Stable podcast. Hey.
Yeah. I stepped away because I wanted to focus on, my Twitch, spend time with my kids on Friday. I didn't like the commitment. It was just too much for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already structured with my life, with work and wake up to kids' school. Every day is the same thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, when I have time off, I want that for me. I don't want it to, I gotta go do this. You know what I mean? If it's not fun, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
If I'm not gonna enjoy it, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
There's no point.
I will
There's no
easily
point.
tell you no, I'm not going.
And
You know what I mean?
We definitely enjoy doing what we're doing here, don't we, Katana?
Absolutely.
Shout out to
We
La
have-
Cocina podcast.
If you have a love and a passion for it,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Don't
Click that
force
like
it.
button. Click that like
Click that
button.
like button.
Share this video. You could do it. We believe in you. Follow us at La Cocina Podcast.
Bring us new friends.
Sorry, I'm known. I'm known for
plug it,
shameless
plug it,
plugging.
plug it.
I'm worse than Diddy.
No, yeah, we plug.
We share the same sign too. I'm a Scorpio. I'll be like, yeah, La Cocina Podcast
Scorpios
live.
are
So-
crazy. Scorpios are nuts.
That's my rising sign.
I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who you're talking about.
One of my best friends is Scorpio. He's a lunatic. Yeah.
I think
gotta
I'm a
stay
little
away
bit
from
more
him.
though. I'm a little bit more loony though.
Yeah, but
Shout out to Heck. Shout out
I'm
to
a
Heck.
Pisces,
Yeah.
that's why. So us Pisces, we're a little bit cuckoo.
what's your sign again,
I'm
Bobby?
Taurus.
You are Taurus.
Taurus.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Salute.
We got some Tauruses
We
in the
got some
building.
Tauruses in the
Taurus
building.
all day. We stubborn, boy.
Oh,
Lord
yes,
of
y'all
mercy.
are.
We about that life, though, man. Like,
Oh, yes, y'all are. Y'all stubborn.
But listen, I don't want to derail from this conversation because it's super dope. But there is a few important things that I did want to talk about in regards to Puerto Rico.
Word.
And I don't want to lose sight of that. You know, the festival that happened yesterday was dedicated to the town of San Sebastian. Shout out to Katana's families from San Sebastian. My stepmother's grandmother's living out in San Sebastian, in between San Sebastian and Lares. So shout outs to Puerto Rico.
my grandmother out there, sing praise to her, man. She's fighting leukemia. She's
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Yeah, she's old too. It's not looking too good. My mother's out there right now, so.
Wow, what part again?
Aguadilla.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, I'll definitely be keeping her in my prayers, bro, and my regards. Wow.
Definitely. Wow.
But there's still a lot of stuff that's happening on the islands, and you know, did you guys see
The death toll?
yeah,
Oh.
let's
Dude.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard. Like you could see even just that throughout today, you know, there's a lot of people that are struggling. Should we be celebrating? Should we be protesting? Should we be doing this? Should we be doing that? You know, my response is that whatever you see fit, whatever works for you, that's what you need to be doing. You know, whatever your heart tells you need to do. If
The
you
way
feel-
that you cope.
yeah,
How you
everybody's
cope.
different, you know. So the death toll, yes, let's talk about that. 4,645. And that is 70 times what the government had officially tallied in the fatalities. They only said it was 64.
Yeah, because they tallied it 3 days after the hurricane happened. You know?
Right.
So now we're a year later, and
How did you guys feel about the memorial that's at the plaza in San Juan right now with the shoes? What did you guys think? I thought it was
I
a
saw
beautiful
that. That
memorial.
was
It was sad and it was.
It is.
I know it's tough. We have to
It
go
is
through this,
sad.
and I know
We gotta do it together.
I know
though.
it's hard, you know, and I know that this is something that, you know, we all were kind of, you know, should we talk about it on live, you know, how much of it do we get into?
We
And
have
I
to
felt that
dive in.
even networks that were taking care of ABC, that was taking care of the Puerto Rican Day Parade today, you know, they did a great job, and I do commend them on that. But I could tell that they were just trying to keep it light and airy, and yes, we have to do that, but we also have to bring awareness to the fact that there's still people without power out there. There's still people without basic, you know, needs and things like that. So there's actually a website, and one thing that I did want to highlight is the website that of Google. Pac, if you can throw that up for me. Hang on, yes. So this Google's doing a matching. They're matching donations right now up until $2 million. So I think that's an awesome. Number one, the marketing technique on that is fab. But number two is, you know, and most importantly, is that we have an opportunity to help the island right now. So visit that website if you have it in your hearts to donate. Just know that Google will be willing to match your donations, and I think that that is an awesome opportunity to take advantage of at this time.
absolutely, man. That's a powerhouse too, man.
Yeah. Oh, he brought the wrong
That's
one.
the wrong
That's
one.
the wrong one, Paco. It's not La-Borinquena.
That's
We're going to
not
talk about
that.
that in a second.
That's a
It's
comic book.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah,
Perfect.
switch.
So, but let's get into that. I know that you're aware because I don't leave you alone when it comes to this, but have you heard about the comic book hero La-Borinquena that has come out, and she's like becoming a
She's
real...
a Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican superhero.
Yes. You
female.
haven't heard about this.
No,
Look.
no.
Okay, so
It's a
let's...
female.
I watch a lot
Alright.
of Paw Patrol.
I forget who your audience is. I forget.
I'm very out of touch with the world. Man. I watch Boss Baby like 7 times a day.
Oh my gosh. No, La-Borinquena is an original character who is now being represented as a patriotic symbol for Puerto Rico, and she was created by Edguardo Miranda Rodriguez. So shout outs to him. He is from Somos Arte, and they recently teamed up with DC Comics to do an anthology, and I actually purchased mine right here. It's Reconstruction, Reminiscing and Rebuilding Puerto Rico. Again, it's by Edguardo Miranda Rodriguez. Shout outs to him. Shout outs to Somos Arte.
I like to play on words there.
Right?
That is so
Yeah.
dope.
The
Reconstruction.
Wait, oh, I'm sorry. Here it is. You can see it here. Reconstruction.
That's dope.
La-Borinquena with Wonder Woman on the cover, Reminiscing and Rebuilding Puerto Rico. So guys, pick this up. It's only $15. I think it was like $15 or $16. But it's an awesome
worth it.
anthology, and it's super dope. And give it to your kids, man. Like, help support the cause. Right now, all of the proceeds for that anthology are going to Puerto Rico. What a better way, what a better time. So shout outs to him, and I think that's an amazing that's an amazing contribution to the culture right now. I
Definitely.
think we need that. We need a hero.
That's nobody was.
Yeah,
touching
you
that.
know, you
nobody
have.
was touching that.
Yeah, and you
not at all.
can you can check them out at La-Borinquena.com. It's amazing. Like they have an entire storyline about her and how she has her powers and how they're from, you know, La Isla del Encanto.
Did she
And
get like licked by a coquille or something?
no. I listen. I believe she actually finds she explores crystals that are in a cage. Yeah, no, she explores crystals in a cage and it gives her superpowers from the Taino people.
Oh, that's dope. That's
yeah, and she has
crystals work though.
she flies, she has super strength, and she has the power to control natural disasters. So
that's does she like her?
yeah, and her name
pretty much. Captain Planet, remember?
her name is Marisol because they wanted to name her after the Puerto Rican anthem Marisol.
Okay.
You know, so it's a lot of play on words on this, but you know, it's for me it's a moment not only for great artistry and great creativity, but it's also just another way for us to get, you know, the issues that are going on the island out there, and to really publicize it and make it more mainstream. And it's kind of unfortunate that it takes, you know, other people to kind of get that going. But, you know, God bless these people that are out there. And there's so many writers from there. Ruben Blades did some storyline work with that, or Rosario Dawson.
Blades is working.
Yeah, man.
He's on Fear the Walking Dead too.
No, yeah, and oh, really?
What?
I didn't know. I don't watch Walking Dead.
He's a goon.
Yeah, no, I have a fear of zombies and anything horror.
You're bugging.
Yeah.
My sister got you. She believes in the zombie apocalypse.
Oh, yeah,
my sister, so my sister got you on that. She's like, I want to get a gun. I'm like, you do not belong with a gun. You're 5'1".
I got a connection in the Poconos right now. You got like 30 rifles on this pool table.
No, I'm gonna be the one with the swords.
We're gonna need a little
So
bit
you
more
already
light
know.
on Bobby because I'm seeing that it's a little dark
She's
on Bobby.
A little dark on Bobby.
Yeah.
Damn, you would think that
It would shine out, right?
I got a
Glow, right?
That was like the same thing I was telling Paco when we were
Nice.
setting up. I'm like, don't whitewash me. I already have that problem.
But shout outs to everybody that's watching. Tuti's there.
Hey,
Shout outs to
Tuti.
Jimmy. He is Greek, but he is a Puerto Rican ally. So
Hey, I want to go to Greece, so I like you.
yeah,
Santorini, Greece.
yeah,
Hey,
Santorini Island. Yes, Opa.
That's my next one.
Shout outs to everybody who's been watching. We are La Cocina Podcast. I'm your girl,
We're here.
Danny Ray.
It's
This is my
Katana
homegirl,
J.
Katana J. Yeah, you said you heard that, right? And of course, Bobby Krills. So, Bobby, thank you so much for joining
Oh, we're
us.
done? No.
Yeah, well, it's 7:52. Can
We
you
still
believe
have
it?
some
We
time.
have some time.
We
So,
have some time.
you want to spit 16?
You want to give us a long song?
No? Okay, well, wait.
Okay.
But listen, where can we find all of you? Plug yourself in.
You guys can follow me on pretty much every social media platform. Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. All of them are at Bobby Krills. BOBBYCRILLZ. I try to keep them all uniform so it's easy to find me. The only one that's different is because I actually switched it is Twitter, and that's Self-Made Krills.
Right.
That's more of my. I use Twitter more for my gaming. If you guys are interested in the gaming, go follow me on that. But the majority of my following on Twitter is like a Madden, Fortnite. You know, like that's.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
we got some
boy.
Fortnite lovers in the
We
building.
do. Look,
I started
this is-
playing
he's praying
Fortnite
to the
yesterday.
Fortnite gods.
But
He's praying to the Fortnite gods.
Fortnite's pretty dope, man. I was playing solos yesterday for like 2 hours with my son. We were rocking, and we were going back and forth switching controllers.
See, and that's what's cool is you got that time now. Like your son is at that age where you can like bust out some video
Yo,
games
check
and
it, yo.
stuff like that.
I'm creating a YouTube page for my son. He's 7 years old right now. If I create content for him from now until the
He'll
time
be
he's
a
18,
millionaire.
he's gonna have thousands and thousands of subscribers on his channel.
Absolutely.
So would you pull a
Monetize
Khaled
it.
and put your
Monetize.
sons as? Would you pull a Khaled and put your sons as an executive producer of your album or your EPs?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Isn't that a power move?
That's a superpower move.
Shout out,
That's
you know,
smart.
the story at Adidon. You know that? You know,
We talked about it last week.
The
Go
Adidas press
ahead.
release.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. Like he was planning to tell the world about his son during a press release for his brand with Adidas. That's crazy. That is so selfish in my in my head. Like that, and I think that's a. Oh,
You think that kid's gonna grow up to hate him?
honestly, bro, he's gonna ask him the question when he's 18 or whatever age. Dad, what happened? Why is Pusha T talking like this? He has to answer that.
Yeah,
question. Remember when I said you gotta watch what you do?
Yeah.
Because you got to answer to
He's gonna
everything.
answer that kid one day.
Yeah.
What's he gonna say to that kid?
That's
What
true.
is-
Imagine that conversation with that kid.
How would that go?
You know what? I think we'd all want to be a fly on the wall in that room. But
Well,
that kid's gonna turn 17. He's gonna get big. He's probably gonna sneak his father.
he probably will. And not for nothing, the way that Drake is going, he might just set up a camera and fuck. Excuse me. My first one, episode 3, my first one.
There you go.
But he probably set up a camera somewhere and make some money off of it too. The way that he's been going, if you can do that to your son with an Adidas, you know what I mean. You'll do anything. You'll have that deep conversation and pay something.
At that point, it's like you sold your soul, bro.
He really did.
There's no coming back from that.
But then let me ask you a quick question, and
Entertaining.
I want to give you a flip turn then with Push. As far as, okay, he was digging deep into what he was saying, but as far as when it comes to like what he was saying about 40, like, do you really think you should go there with a sick person?
We already know he can't. He
Live
shouldn't.
by the sword, you die by the sword, man. It's rap.
Yeah.
That's a battle. It's all go, man. That's as a rapper, as somebody that does it. Like when it comes to battles, man, you ever watch a battle like a Smack DVD, URL and all that?
Yeah,
These dudes are disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like remember, what's the dude's name?
Arsenal.
No, not Arsenal. Loaded Lux. When he came out and he planned the whole funeral for this dude, and then he sat there for like 15 minutes just talking about how much of a deadbeat his father is.
Listen, it's 2018. There's no chill. There's no chill
They came
anymore.
out in black suits. What Pusha did is nothing compared to what you see on real battles.
That's what I'm saying. I totally agree with you. I think that it wasn't even that harsh, but I know it was just shots that we weren't expecting.
Yeah.
I think it was the shock value of it all.
It was for the fact that they're more mainstream, because when you're going to rap battle, you know what you're expecting. You know you're going in there and they're gonna get disrespectful. They're gonna get gritty. They're gonna get nasty. They're
Jay-Z
gonna come
did
for
it with
you.
Nas.
Everybody.
Super ugly. Nas did it with Jay-Z on Easy Fair.
Yeah.
Pac.
Nas.
How did Pac start hit him up? That's why.
We wouldn't be able to play it here.
What?
But yes.
Seriously.
That's how he didn't even rap yet. That's what he said before he started rapping. Jesus, man.
Yeah. And the diss worlds back
Yo,
in
you
the day
see
was
him in
different.
person after that? What you doing?
One more little shameless plug. Shout out to everybody that's been joining us on La Cocina podcast. Like the page, like the video. Follow us at La Cocina podcast. I'm your girl, Danny Ray. This is Katana J and Bobby Krills. Thank you guys for joining us for this past hour. And if you're just tuning in, well, then you can rewind when we're done. But I'm just so excited to have you here. Let's talk about. But you know what? You know what's so funny? You said you don't do features, but you did have Will Gittins, who was like, you know, Mr. YouTube right now.
Yeah.
You know, so
What's up with that?
yeah. What you mean?
How that came about was, remember I told you we were chasing clout, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you the story behind the matrimony. The matrimony, when we first heard the song Matrimony, we learned about that song being released about 5 days before it actually hit the airwaves. So
You got an inside tip?
we found out some information that the song was coming out. We knew it was gonna hit. It was about April something. Summertime's coming around. You got Wale and Usher. It's gonna hit. You know what I mean? And then it's a song about relationships. So that's the subject that everybody can relate to. So what we did was we decided to find the instrumental before the song came out, which we got. I don't know how that happened. We reached out to Will, who was doing his thing, and he helped us. And we sent him the beat. He put his vocals on it. He re-sang Usher's hook. I went to the studio probably like a day later, recorded my verses.
Yeah.
And then we dropped the song and a video about 2 to 3 weeks before Wale and Usher did.
Yeah.
So if you understand search engine optimization, when you go on YouTube and you search for a certain song that they haven't released a video for, and we tag the hell out of it, all those views
You're gonna get
went to us.
Yeah. They go to you first.
We didn't pay for that.
Well, you gonna have to help us upload our stuff on YouTube.
Search
We're gonna need
engine,
a little bit of that.
search engine optimization is the key to success. And if you don't understand what that is, learn about it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you, because we literally
Dropping
have
gems.
7:59. So leave us
Don't
with
structure
a.
yourself.
I know, but I shouldn't, right?
No.
Okay, well
We're
let's
vibing.
talk about a gem that you would want to drop. Something that's different from the last interview,
Yeah.
which I'm sure you won't recall anyway.
Gem, just understand who you're trying to reach.
Yeah.
Learn how to reach them. Understand search engine optimization. Understand tagging. Understand what hashtags do. People use hashtags and have no clue
What they're doing.
what the point is.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm low key one of those people sometimes.
Like I used to put pointless ass hashtags out there, but like hashtag y'all can't see me or hashtag stupid. Like
Things that have no algorithm to it.
yeah, what a hashtag is actually it puts your photo, your post, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
into a database of people that are using the same thing. So it gives your stuff to that demographic of people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now you have information. You have people to engage with. You can attack them. You can if you see that they like something that you like.
Now you know who to gun for.
You hit them up. You engage. Sometimes you got to start the conversation.
Right.
You're not just gonna get followers.
You have to jump. You have to
Because
be
people
hungry.
love hearing about themselves. Sometimes you just got to double click it.
Alright, so we love hearing about ourselves, and if you love hearing about us and Bobby Krills and you have any questions, we are now opening up here. We're looking at your comments. If you have any questions, let's leave them. You have any comments, leave them.
My sister is funny. She said typical Ricans about to go and then just start talking all
Yeah,
over
he was
again.
like, don't structure yourself. It's
Like,
8 o'clock. I ain't done. You done? I'm not done. Let's keep going.
It's episode 3, Boricua Posse. That's what we're doing. We're talking.
Yes.
We're parlaying.
But the good thing is
Posse
that,
here,
like,
we're here.
You guys, this is a perfect platform for me to get back under my feet under me and get my feet wet, start rolling again. Because I'm starting to prepare mentally for moving.
Yeah.
You know, like grinding and stuff like that. I got the studio working, and it's about to get real. Like.
So when you were off for
That's
those 2 years, right? What happened in terms of you? Like, do you feel that something shifted in you mentally, especially after being a father now for the second time?
I got discouraged, man. I'm chasing clout for so long, and you never get nothing in return. You're looking for love, and you don't get it. You know what I mean?
Chasing pavements.
So I felt at one point I was done.
Yeah.
I didn't want to compete no more. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to be mentioned in these conversations. I don't want anybody to say something to me that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want it. You know what I mean? But after like growing and working and getting a career, I worked my way up through my jobs. Those 2 years was life changing as far as salary and tax brackets go.
Right.
I was focused on other stuff, but I just didn't want it no more, man. I didn't want to be around people.
Do you feel like right now you're ready? Like you're ready to go back and get on stage and go and maybe tour?
Absolutely. Like, I'm ready to do it the way I want to do it.
Hungry.
You know what I mean?
What's the way that you want to do it?
Whatever feels good.
Yeah.
What feels right?
Whatever feels right. If it doesn't affect my kids or my wife, then I'm going to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I want to live. That's how I want to do it. I don't want to be forced into stuff. I don't want somebody telling me, yo, you got to be here this time, you got to do that. Back up.
Yeah.
I don't live like that.
I gotta dance to my own drum beat.
Yeah. I want to control what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And now I can, because now I have nothing holding me back. I got my own studio. I got my game and stuff. I mean, I unplug in my own house. I don't have to leave my house ever.
Yeah. No,
My house is set up for
you
me.
don't really realistically need to.
I got everything I need. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
So
all right. What can you tell us about the new music? What are you willing to tell us? Because if we're gonna extend this, then you're gonna have to give us something, bro.
What I'm gonna tell you is that Nemesis is by far the best producer in the world.
No, I've heard his stuff. I have some of his stuff on my iMac. I do.
Man, movie stuff, man. Like big beats, man. Just picture listening to it in a stadium. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just
A lot of sampling.
samples are crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy samples.
You use some crazy samples.
A lot of self-development, man. The whole album's basically it's a rap version of a self-development book.
Yeah.
That's a dope way to say it.
If that's what I
some of the themes that you want to touch base on this time around, something different. What are you talking about in your new music that you were not talking about before?
Talking about basically waking up constantly on the grind. We're all chasing something. There's a song called Run, which is actually my favorite song on the new project.
Yeah.
The beat is incredible. Z100 type stuff though. It's not like
really.
It's not like the sound of my project is not traditional hip hop. It's not something that can only be played on Hot 97 or Power 105. It's universal. Like you can play this everywhere. You know what I mean?
That's exciting.
And it's just I'm writing a lot to my kids.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of it is me telling my kids how to live. You know what I mean? Like if you're feeling down, don't let the world take your energy from you. You know, it's a lot of that. You know, just
Wow.
Trying to be positive.
That's dope, sending a message.
That's
I'm just trying to
awesome.
be positive, man. I'm just trying to be as positive as possible, man. 'Cause
That's what the world
honestly,
needs. The world
for
needs
real.
it.
That's why when Kanye be like, love everybody, I feel him, man, because people have been fighting that battle for years with the hate and the hate and the hate. This shit don't work. I'm like, try a different approach, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That
The
was just
definition of insanity is doing the same thing over, expecting different results.
different results.
You're going insane. You keep fighting the same battle, doing the same thing, and you're not getting anything done.
Yeah, one of our friends of the show here, Jimmy, he says, it comes to one thing, think positive, because life will throw you curveballs, and you have to deal with it in a positive way. And that's so true.
It's true.
That's so true. How many curveballs have you been thrown now? And
I got 2 right now. Nah, those are my babies, man. I love them. But, man, just crazy. Life, man, hits you, you get fired, you quit, your income goes up, it goes down.
yeah.
It's a roller coaster.
If you guys have any questions for Bobby, we're extending our show, which is something that we have not done. So this is episode 3, Boricua Posse. Okay?
Extension.
We're extending the episode just for Bobby Krill. So guys, if you have any questions, I am encouraging you now. Please put them down below. We will ask them on your behalf. We will find out what you want to know. Now is the time. This is your call to action. So Bobby, so you mentioned what you named a song.
Yeah, it's called Run. It's called Run.
You said you're gonna say nothing, and you did. I pulled the Angie Martinez.
Yeah, honestly, so far that's my favorite song.
Is that the song you were talking about that kind of might be taking over the old favorite song you used to have?
Yeah.
That
absolutely.
You see,
Right.
we
You
pulled
see?
it.
This
And,
one
and,
you
and you know
really
what?
right.
It has like a shore vibe to it, like a
Relax,
uh, what's the guy's name? Travis McCoy.
Yes. Did you hear him with that new record and
I
Train?
love him.
have.
He's coming
But it's
back.
like that song is like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Vibe.
It's that vibe.
It's vibe, yeah.
You can play this at a sandbar somewhere, and you guys are gonna be like, oh, this is dope. Like it's gonna change the mood of the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Here's one thing that I did want to talk about since we're going to extend the show. You mentioned in Free Will and in certain portions, like you went through a series of real strong depression, you know, and especially now that mental health and suicide awareness is such a big topic of conversation right now with good reason.
Yeah.
Will your music be touching on that again?
Definitely touching on like my darker times. There's definitely gonna be some lyrics for that and content for that. Yeah, absolutely. I'll be touching on it.
How do you feel about the state of music right now and how they are taking so much into account in mental health and mental awareness and suicide awareness? Do you think that it's necessary?
I think the world is doing pretty good with suicide awareness, especially with Logic had the song that was big.
That was
100.
smart.
1-800-275.
Yeah. It was the actual suicide hotline.
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember the
That
last
was
4
dope.
numbers because I'm dyslexic. I'm sorry.
It's
And then,
just the suicide
We got the
hotline.
Netflix
Yes.
show 13 Reasons Why. That was awesome show, by the way. If you haven't watched that, watch that.
No, we did.
We did.
Yeah.
We
I
did.
was
We were talking
scarred.
about it.
Yeah.
She was scarred a little bit.
It's a tough show to watch.
I'm
is.
still recovering from that. I gotta say, and it happened to me the first time I saw the first season. I felt a little depressed after it, and then this second season, it was.
I'm
it
not
was
done with
something
the
I had
second
to-
season yet.
Okay, well I ain't gonna ruin it for you.
Keep
But
what episode are you
I'm
on?
on
Number?
episode 6.
Oh no, keep going. There's 13.
I know.
There's
Yeah.
13.
And don't watch episode 2 of our last show.
Don't
then.
watch it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna spoil it for you. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
Yet. There's spoiler alerts
Clay's
on
an
there.
asshole.
I like Zach.
You like
He's a
that?
bubble.
I like
man.
Zach. Yeah, for me, he's kind of like he admitted it though. You didn't see
Yeah,
the
he
part
did,
yet.
he did.
He admitted to
Oh,
saying
yeah.
he's weak sauce. He admitted to saying that he's a weak person. He did admit that.
Yes, he did.
But he's just beautiful to look at. I'm fine with all that. It's okay.
I can't even.
I just
do it.
want to look at you.
It's a good show. I think it is necessary. I do caution to take those disclaimers and those inoculations before
serious.
the episodes very
yeah,
seriously.
especially if you have preteen or kids
You
watching
know
it.
what I want to know is,
Wow.
there anybody out there that can get me those damn tapes?
No, you want to end up like Clay and go crazy just hearing her voice in your head.
No,
That,
man.
that to me is a little messed up.
He just sees her all day. Like
All
she's not
day.
there. His ex, I know his ex broke up with him. Whatever
Over it,
she's
right?
doing.
But my thing is my question is where's his? Obviously, his parents are not in this situation. Because if it was me, I'm like, who is homie yelling at upstairs?
Yeah.
Because he's legit.
Yeah, that
he
was
was
weird.
going in on her Where's his parents? Him talking to him by himself like that.
We don't want to blow it for the people who haven't watched,
But they watched episode 2 of La Cocina podcast, so they already know.
Yes. So, but yes, check out 13 Reasons Why. But Bobby, going back to you, because I don't want to stray off too much.
Okay.
When do you project this new project coming out?
At the moment, I'm in the writing process. I got about 5 songs finished. It's an EP. It's about 8 songs. And that's that. So once it's done being written, which I'm in a really good zone right now as far as like my pen and stuff goes.
Right.
So things are coming out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like to force the writing.
Yeah, it has to like just
It
come
has to
naturally.
naturally come. Like the other day, I got a beat from A1. Shout out to A1. And you know what I mean? He gave me a beat the other day, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, all right, cool. I got out of work, put it in my car, I played it. It was dope. I was like, oh, this is it. Went home that night. I wrote the song. You know what I mean? So it's like if it naturally flows, it's gone. But I got about 5 songs done. I need 3 more, and then it's the recording process, and then it's mixing, and then
Mixing,
the whole
mastering, and all
back end stuff, which that's where all the money. That's why I bought a studio and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm tired of just spending the money on other things. I can use that for marketing. I can use that for, you know what I mean? So
that's like the wave though that's been going on like for the past like years. Like, cause I went to audio engineering school. Next year would be 10 years that I graduated. I graduated in 09.
Right.
For me, I feel like once we went digital, everybody was able. If you have a computer, if you have a Mac, period, you have GarageBand. Guess what? You have a studio. But a lot of people don't really know. Like, if you're somebody who's interested in it, you sit there, you open that app, and you just get in there. Like Fruity Loops back in the day.
Yeah.
Everybody used Fruity Loops. Everybody was using, you know, Pro Tools is what's main in the mainstream. But there's all these different other outlets that are there that if this is your passion and you're going to get started, guess what? That passion and that talent is going to show in the work. And somebody's going to be like, okay, you know what? Come here. Let me show you something on this program now, and then you just go there and just start ripping it. You know what I mean?
You gotta start.
It's all right there. It's a DAW, digital audio workstation.
Now I know you're a guy that likes to do everything on your own and stuff, and I know you have Nemesis. But have you ever gotten curious, or you ever wanted to produce something of your own?
Like beats?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I can't get that. I don't
No.
No.
It's a little much.
Shout out to Shakes. My homie Shakes back in the day. He helped me like sample something one time. It was a loop, and in my head it was like the greatest beat ever, but it was horrible.
Oh my god.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
but I never really got into to beat making. That's just not. No.
It's a little different.
I've been learning Photoshop a little bit. I downloaded Photoshop.
Photoshop's fun.
I've been having some fun with it.
It's
yeah,
fun.
I've been having some. I'm getting better with it and understanding the layers.
Yeah, I saw that flyer that you made for us.
Yeah, I'm trying.
It was
man.
cute.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand this because that's important. Like,
Yeah,
you need content, regardless if it's music or pictures. You need content. If you run out of content, you're done.
of course.
That's the thing about this chase.
Yeah,
Is you
You
need
can't run
content.
out of content.
ever.
You run out of content, lights out, bro.
And that's the best part
And they'll
about
forget
it.
you quick.
Is that now that you have this into your hands, you know what I'm saying? You're kind of able to reach out to these different kinds of masses in different ways, as opposed to back in the day, if you was a spitter, you was just a spitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You didn't have to worry about all that.
And the reputation will stand for
For
itself.
self. But now you kind of gotta like wear different hats. You gotta be the spitter. You gotta be the engineer. You're gonna have to be, you know, your head of marketing, and you have to be every song or even every album or even just yourself. It's a new business.
It comes down to the attention span.
Absolutely.
Think about it.
Yeah.
They forget you quick.
So you gotta always
You
constantly
gotta
be
constantly
feeding.
be on this billboard. This is a billboard. Whoever sees this.
And
You
it's-
understand what I'm saying?
You
Like,
pay for it every month. Use it.
Seriously, you gotta look at it. Like, you gotta look at people's phones as mobile billboards.
People literally
That's
make
why-
money off of
Yeah.
phones. Literally.
An Instagram post should take up the entire page of somebody's screen. You know what I mean? Because
Most def.
that's what they're seeing. You know
Speaking
what I
of
mean?
which, you're not. If you're now just tuning in, this is La Cocina podcast. I'm your girl Danny Ray. This is my homegirl Katana J, and we are joined by rapper and hip hop artist Bobby Krills from Perth, Amboy, New Jersey.
Yes.
Shout outs to all of our people in Amboy who are watching us. Thank you so much. Shout outs to people in New York. Shout outs to people in Puerto Rico.
Wait, shout out to Cali. I see Cali in the building. Shout out
Cali's in the
Cali.
building. Who else do we have?
Shout out my boy K, man. I see you, K. What's
Yeah,
up?
man.
Hey, what up, Kay?
If you guys have any questions, we're going to be on for a little bit longer. If you guys have any questions,
This is the deluxe
this
version.
is the time. This is the time to ask them now. But shout outs to everybody who's been joining us for the past hour. Please go and like La Cocina podcast. Go and share this video with your friends. And Help us out, man. Especially join us on La Cocina podcast community. It's a new group that we have going. Can you believe that we have like 120 something members already?
That's dope.
Right?
That's so dope.
Without
Like, we
even
just
trying.
started literally
This is
3
the
weeks
third
ago.
episode.
That's dope.
It's the third episode.
That's dope. Make sure they stay engaged.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
trust me, they will
listen,
be.
check us out, www.lacocinapodcast.com.
Yeah.
You can find our videos. You can find our bios. You can even find merchandise for La Cocina Podcast if you want a shirt.
Yes.
We're not rocking that right now because you know what day it is. You know what time it is.
You know what time it is.
But however, that merchandise is there and available for you to order and
For
to purchase.
and to support the movement, support
Yes.
us, and we'll support you. That's what this is for. It's a platform for us to really like get into it with people who are interested in the things that we're interested in. You know
Of
what
course.
I mean?
Shout outs to Tom's River. Tom's River is in the
Tom's
building.
River's in the building.
You know the one thing I always remember about Tom's River?
Oh, what's
Whenever
that?
you drive into Tom's River, there's a sign that says the 97 maybe World Series champs.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
God.
The Little League World Series. That's what they're known for. They're known for baseball, like the Little League circuits and stuff
Really?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom's River is really, really good when it comes to that.
I only know them for their wildlife.
I believe
There's too
there's
many
a gang.
animals out
I
there.
don't know if he got traded, but there's a gang. Frazier, something Frazier, Todd Frazier. Anybody? Is that his name?
Anybody?
Yeah.
Any dudes over
Yeah,
there?
no, nobody knows.
He was the pitcher, right?
No, he plays
Who?
position. His name's Todd Frazier, I believe.
Where's he from again?
Tom's River.
Okay.
He's a Yankee right now. He's
Yeah.
he's a baller.
I think he's the pitcher.
No, he's not a pitcher.
You sure?
100% sure.
Okay.
He's a hitter. He hits, so I don't know what position he plays. But probably
All right, well, shout outs to him. Shout outs to Frazier.
Shout out.
We got Queens in the house. Astoria Queens,
Hey,
baby.
Queens in the building was good.
Who else do we have? Shout out where you're from. Shout out where you're from real
Let
quick
us know
before
where
we
you're
end
from.
this live on a super positive note. So I need y'all to shout yourselves out so we can shout you out.
Yes, let's see what masses we're reaching to. Come on.
Damn.
Where y'all from?
My hair is frizzy. I don't see what these lights are doing.
I have no idea. Listen, that's where the hat is for. The
Well,
hat is for
listen.
block.
I guess we've about wrapped it up for this evening.
I think so. I think 20
it's
minutes is
time.
good enough. We good.
Well, shout outs to you, Bobby Krills. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for coming
hats
through.
off.
Hip hop artist coming out of Perth, Amboy, New Jersey. Definitely keep an eye out for this man.
There's a lot of work coming.
Absolutely, I believe
Thanks for
it.
having me, man. Appreciate it. Man.
Again, please like, share, and follow at La Cocina Podcast. Tune in every Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m. only on Facebook Live. And that's about it.
And that's it. And that's how it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. La
Check
Cocina
y'all.
Podcast.